When you hear that, it's like, open this fucking pit up. Okay, here, tell me this isn't Pantera vibes. Get that Cowboys from Hell sound and put it on this section. So, on the menu today is Avenged Sevenfold's second album, Waking the Fallen. And as I did with the previous reviews, what I'm going to be doing is just going through certain sections of each song and highlighting the areas that really impacted me the most. I don't want to blabble on. We're going to get right into it right now. First song, Waking the Fallen. I love this part. This is a really cool build, and I really like the background vocals. It's super spooky. And those screams, you know this album's going to be packed with them just from that little section. It's really neat analyzing this now because from a vocal perspective, just listening to this one part, you can get an idea that Matt's going to be doing singing and screaming on this album. I love all those layers in the background, it's so dope. And as a side note, I dig how Sin just does the palm mute throughout the entire song. Next up is Unholy Confessions. You all know this song. And this one song really set the stage for Avenged Sevenfold at the time. There weren't many bands doing songs like Unholy Confessions that had both singing and screaming in this kind of context. And what I mean by this context is that you have this metal vibe, but also this punk vibe as well too. And kicking into this first verse, it's pretty powerful. And we're not waiting until the bridge to do a breakdown. We're getting it in the verse or the pre-chorus, whatever you want to call it. And then coming in with this banger of a chorus. And then you have that break from the harmonies, and then the harmonies come in again and just make you feel good. So good. I don't know about you guys, but this one chorus in Unholy Confessions is probably one of my favorite choruses in all of Avenged Sevenfold's music. And I just love how they do this slow part before the punk beat kicks in. Here we go. So good. I would have loved to have been at an early Avenged Sevenfold concert when they played this song. And I love how they went dirty with this one section. And this second breakdown section is so early 2000s. And the thing about Avenged Sevenfold that I find that's different from many other bands is that they stem away from your typical song structure. Intro, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, outro. They rarely, if at all, do that. And another thing that they do, each chorus is rarely the exact same. There's always subtle nuances that they will add in certain sections of different choruses within that song. Like that. Phenomenal. Right out of the gate, coming out with an impactful song. Next up, Chapter 4. Another song that you obviously all know by Avenged Sevenfold. And interestingly enough, I just did a cover of Chapter 4 right here. This song gets right into it. I feel like this song sort of painted the picture on how Zaki and Sin would structure their guitar work on subsequent albums. Those iconic Avenged Sevenfold harmony guitars. Love this first verse. We're 3 songs into the album. Actually, Waking the Fallen isn't really a song per se. It's more of just like an intro to the album. So let's just call it 2 songs in. This second song has another banger of a chorus. Just utterly powerful. This part. So good. We just had this like lift me up chorus and then we're going into some meatiness. And again, we're getting some iconic Avenged Sevenfold harmonies. But from a singing perspective, even though the lyrics and the melody from the first and the second verse are the same, it sounds like Matt sings it again instead of them just simply cutting and pasting the first verse to the second verse. You can tell by just subtle nuances in his voice. And then we're getting into this section. Matt was pretty young here, and he has a lot of power in this next section. And his range too, it's up there, but there's sections in this album that he actually goes much higher. Such a great change. And this next section where there's essentially a guitar solo mixed in with the screaming is such a fantastic creative decision. God, what have you done? It just blends so well. And the song pretty much continues in this fashion until it does a fade out. Such a powerhouse of a song. Next up, Remenissions. I remember the first time I heard this song, I was just like, yes, I love Matt screaming this. Another song I would have loved to seen live in Avenged Sevenfold's early days. Dirty Chords, coming in with a slammin' verse. It's not early 2000s unless they throw some of this spice in the mix. This chorus I find pretty fascinating because the O's are louder than the scream itself. I wonder how they got to that, because if I was mixing this song, I would have put the O under and then lifted the scream up in front of it. And now there's probably a reason for that. If I were to guess, the O drives that chorus. Yeah, it drives the chorus. Okay, so we're gonna get into my favorite part in this song. The Latin vibe with Matt singing just marinates so well. And I know I probably mentioned this a million times, but they are anything but predictable. This next section is the perfect example. So good. Those drums sound amazing. And I feel like many other bands would just slap the chorus in this next part coming up, but nope, not Avenged Sevenfold. Coming in with catchy dual guitar harmonies. That gets drilled into your head. I feel like this section could actually be the chorus. And what's so creative is that they still kept that Latin vibe, but put that Avenged Sevenfoldness into the mix. And again, it wouldn't be Avenged Sevenfold unless they pull a fast one on you. And you think it's done. Nope. Just fantastic songwriting. And here we are, about to dive into Desecrate through Reverence. Such a sick intro. And this part that Sin's doing, you can tell it's immediately Avenged Sevenfold because it gives that Avenged Sevenfold sound. And then we got some tasty M shadow harmonies. Matt has some wild screams on him. Love that. Who's that? Is that Matt? Is that Valerie? Is that somebody else? Oh yeah. And here Matt starts to really unpack his range. Such great control. This song gives me Pantera vibes. If you got this song and you copy and pasted it into like 90s Pantera, like Cowboys from Hell era, I think it's fair to say this could pass for a Pantera song. But obviously you have guitar harmonies that are signature to Avenged Sevenfold that wouldn't pass for Pantera, like this. Matt really showcases some power and range here. No auto-tune, just raw, natural talent. Next up, Eternal Rest, coming right out of the gate with the circus. Yeah, we get it, Sin. You got some skill. Try to imagine getting this song and pacing it with the early Pantera sound. It would sound so dope. Someone has to do like an AI version of that. Not saying I don't dig this sound. I actually love the rawness of this album. It's just the way the song is. I feel like Pantera could have wrote something like this. And this breakdown section, I remember this getting stuck in my head for the longest time, and I was obsessed playing it. The rev snare sounds really good. Okay, here, tell me this isn't Pantera vibes. Get that Cowboys from Hell sound and put it on this section. Such an energy-packed song, and you don't know what to expect. Again, classic Avenged Sevenfold, just throwing curveballs and giving that element of surprise. A lot of great vocal layers in this section. And for some reason, this next part always reminded me of The Nightmare Before Christmas. But also kind of reminds me of A Little Piece of Heaven. So good. Yes, I really feel A Little Piece of Heaven in this one. Great friggin' tune. Another iconic song that all of you know, Second Heartbeat. I want to do a cover of this one so bad. Dual harmony guitars. Another song that just gave me goosebumps when this part came in. However, I do like the live version better where they played this at the LBC. Love this verse. But the money is right here. And the slamming chorus. And it's sick how they go from the minor into the major here. And these vocal harmonies, gotta hit them again. And the last chorus here, I really dig Matt's vocal change. Yeah! He's so good, really showcasing his abilities early on. Such a beauty of a song, most likely a song that I'm gonna cover. Next up is Radiant Eclipse. Okay, some twisted vibes. If early 2000 hardcore had a feel. This is such a slammin' verse. I love that guitar. And then picking up the energy here. And this section, chorus or whatever you want to call it, is really neat because it's like you get this like minor feel and then it goes right into a major. But I'm sure you guys see the trend here. Every one of these songs have such a unique direction in terms of how they structure the song. Love this part. Oh yeah. And then we reach the end with one of Matt's vocal endings. And he also does a very similar ending in the song Until the End. And now we're diving into this two-part series, I Won't See You Tonight. I am utterly surprised that this song isn't more popular than it is. And then the way it hits here. Again, these guys know how to write where they're bringing emotion out of the listener. So good, man. And this song is in my top 10 favorite Avenged Sevenfold songs. Let me put it to you that way. I love it. Cry alone, I've gone away. No more nights, no more pain. Yo, I should definitely cover this song. It's just so good. It makes me feel amazing just singing it. Sorrow sank deep inside my blood. Oh yeah, I definitely want to cover this tune. Drop it in the comments if you want me to cover this. And the orchestral in the background. This song is really a cinematic type of tune. And this iconic guitar part here. Oh yeah, it's just so dope. I love how they bring back the piano and the subtleness again. It's like, okay, let's just take a breather for a second. And this breather is needed because Matt comes in eventually and just slays some high range vocals. I'd question all you Avenged Sevenfold fans that don't have I Won't See You Tonight Part 1 in their top 10. Like, come on. This is such... I don't want to use the word banger because I feel like banger is an understatement. It's just, euphoric. Yes, euphoric. And then we get into I Won't See You Tonight Part 2, and this is the complete polar opposite of I Won't See You Tonight Part 1. How, you ask? Well, let's start. That's how. This song is what 2000s hardcore is all about. And then check out this shadowy part. Nice. This guitar breakdown section is one of my favorite parts in the song. When you hear that, it's like, open this f***ing pit up. And this is the 10th song, and you really get a sense of how Matt starts to unpack his range as the songs progress. And then the circus comes to town on the last section. The next tune, Clairvoyant Disease, is one of my favorite song titles. For the people that don't know this, clairvoyant essentially means a person having supernatural abilities and perceiving events before they even happen. I find it interesting how Avenged Sevenfold put disease after clairvoyant because it could be a disease. Think about how much torture that can give someone if they're able to perceive the future before it even happens. It could be a blessing, but it can also be a curse. Starts off nice and subtle, but this verse is so majestic. And this is a very clean vocal because in this next section, he really starts to open up the grit. Oh, see, that part's great. Let's roll that back. And what I really dig about the chorus too is the lead guitars in the back. So twisted. And what's really neat about this song is that it starts off kind of dark, and then this next section brings a bit more light into the mix because it has that major type of vibe. And it has that major feel for a while, and then it goes right back into the darkness again. Minor! And this ending is so Avenged Sevenfold because they do this in a bunch of other songs on subsequent albums as well. Slapping tune and anything but predictable. We're at the last song and all things will end. Got some MIA vibes here. So Avenged Sevenfold. All right, Matt, let's see what you can do. Great verse. I like how there's more singing than there is screaming. His vocal performance is just flawless on this album. Very clean. And then you have sections like this. This song is such a pizza party. There's so many toppings on this pizza, and you don't know which topping is going to hit the palate first. All in all, I feel like this album really set the stage for Avenged Sevenfold. You have some iconic Avenged Sevenfold songs like Unholy Confessions, Chapter 4, Second Heartbeat, and I Won't See You Tonight Part 1. At least those are the ones that really impact me the most. You're probably going to have different ones as well, and that's really cool. And if you do, drop them in the comments below because I want to hear from you. But this was fun. I love digging into their older albums because if it wasn't for me doing this review, I probably wouldn't go back for a while to listen to this. So now that I'm doing these reviews, I'm actually listening to their older stuff a lot more. So if you haven't yet, like this video for the algorithm and subscribe to the channel. It would truly mean a lot. And for all of you that have subscribed to the channel and continue to show your support, I cannot thank you enough. And if you haven't yet, join my Discord server in the description below because you're going to get access to stuff that I'm doing, upcoming projects, and so on and so forth. And now the only thing left to do is end this video, and I don't know how to end this video.